is in 7 maps in total. 6 are down, and we are left with 1 at the end. It's Oregon again. Good lord, what is happening? We get so much Oregon. Gio, I see you're excited. What's up?
Well, this is Cloud9's best map right now. In the last 3 months, they've played it 8 times and won 8 times. You know, that includes the major, it includes stage 1 of APAC North, but it also includes the recent Korean Open that's still ongoing. But, ooh, they're doing really well on it.
This is a tough one here for Guts. This is already a tough game for them to go into, and then you give C9 a map that they're usually way more comfortable in just because you don't want to play on Team Park.
Yeah, admittedly, Cloud9 hasn't played a lot of non-Korean teams on this map. It's mostly just the Korean teams, but I think the main result I'd look at is in the August Major semi-finals, Cloud9 won 7-3 over Cyclops, which has been a really consistent team. And Guts was also defeated by Fav on this map, only to come back and win again in the August Major. So, yeah, I'm with you, Gio. I think this map does favor Cloud9. But look, I reckon Guts has what it takes. They've clearly made improvements to their Oregon between the 2 times they versed Fav in the regular season and then in the major. So let's see if they can continue that improvement, I guess.
You know, this might be the closest game that we'll have today. It really all depends on Guts' improvement. You mentioned Oregon specifically, Gio, and C9's just long history on it over the past 3 or so months. That's really what matters in the end. Did they do their homework in preparation? That's Guts going into Playday, this first Playday stage 2. Did Cloud9 just kind of sit back and relax for the rest of the time from the Korean Open going all the way here? Big questions. We want to answer them in game, so let's toss it over to our casters. Guts versus Cloud9 Oregon, our second to last matchup of this evening. All yours, Hap and Chess.
Welcome back, ladies and gentlemen. That's a weird looking Des, I know, but there's a little bit of a story behind it because next week we bring someone in to be Hap's duo. I'm not going to spoil it, but let's just say everyone in the talent is very excited to be bringing you your new duo. I know we've been solidifying duos over the past stage or 2 now, and everyone's been saying, you guys, the chemistry, build it. We are building it, and we're bringing someone onto the team who can help us elevate that. So I'm so exceptionally excited for this.
You all
I know
just
how
ditched
excited.
me, and now you're stuck with me for this week at least.
Please, we love you, Hap. In fact, I actually can't wait because I'm going to force you to color cast and I'm going to play-by-play this game. So let's get it. Let's jump into the matchup here. This is going to be a wild one because as far as I'm concerned, or as far as I know, Cloud9 should absolutely slay on this map. And if I just look over to my other monitor here, Hap, last time Guts played it once was against Fav and they lost 7-3. This doesn't bode well.
That doesn't look well indeed. And considering they're up against, not a big deal, but the major champion, might just end very badly for them, I have to say.
You're trying to paint a pretty picture. I can see it in your eyes.
Yeah, they're trying to make it sound better than it will actually be. But I think if Cloud9 is able to continue their form that they've had throughout the major, this should be a pretty one-sided affair.
Oh, goodness me. It sounds like Cloud9 are taking their sweet old time to get into the lobby. That's what we're hearing on our side, which is A-okay with me because I do want to break down a few things here going into this particular map. A lot of the times when we go into the ban phase, especially us color casters, we don't get a lot of time to talk about what those bans might mean. We're still trying to introduce the matchup. So this might give us a little bit of time to talk about the fact that last time Guts played Oregon, they banned both Montaigne and Valkyrie. Right, and that's what I would consider to be very specific bans, and especially against Fav, who doesn't really even play Monty. That felt like a comfort ban for me, a comfort set of bans. Maybe they're not used to dealing with shields, especially tight corridors like Oregon is. And then on the flip side, if you go over to Cloud9, you start to look at their bans. For the most part, they've got a sporadic amount of bans. I mean, things like Goyo, Mira, Thatcher, IQ, Pulse, Habana, Ash. I mean, are we just going to get some counter bans here from Cloud9, do you think?
We might see that, indeed. If you banned out that many operators, it will really depend on the map you play and the opponent you play against. And that latter one may be even more so important because if there is a crutch operator, for example, Guts would like to use, why not just ban it out? Take away that, that comfort they have and make them struggle a little bit on their attack or defense, depending on where that ban will come from. But talking about bans, Jess, we're getting right into it. Now, there's many opportunities you could go for here. Of course, Asim and Lucy have been added to the pool. We haven't seen many bans come through yet, but it might impact the ban phase. A Thatcher, for example, or a Maverick to go down in a combination, because in that case, it would be basically useless to bring those 3 Heartbreachers.
Absolutely. First ban coming out. Now, I've never been so excited to see a ban phase here because I want to see if it matches the trend. Thatcher does match their recent trend. In fact, they're past, I think, 2 times on Oregon. They banned it as well. So interesting. Now we need to see what Guts, and here we go. The Montaigne ban again. I can understand it more for Cloud9. I understood it less when they banned it against Fav, but this seems to be a comfort ban. What is the other comfort ban here? It should be Valkyrie. It's going to be Clash.
For Clash. Yeah,
they don't
no
like
shields here today. No shields today, indeed. Now, considering the Thatcher ban, we might see a Kaid to be removed from the likes of Cloud9, just not wanting to really deal with that later on. Actually, Goyo to be removed, just to remove the amount of shields on the board even more so. I mean, if we're looking at, for example, one of the earlier games we've had today on Oregon, we saw that the shields later on seemed to be the point where the attacks seem to struggle because, you know, you can throw all the Yinkandellas you want, but if there's like 4 shields in the side, you do not know who's behind what shield, and that might hinder you just a little bit. So 2 removed off the board. Of course, still going to be some shields present as the mirror gets brought into laundry supply. It's always interesting to see how that will set up. So many opportunities.
Oftentimes, when there's a mirror ban on Oregon, you'll see them extend out onto blue bunker and do an elbow hold with a shield, a smoke, or a shotgun operator of some kind. With a mirror, you don't technically have to do that. You can kind of hold back a little bit and hold those walls with the mirror. The trouble is then being effective with your freezer hold. So we'll see how they plan on setting that up, whether or not they set up a mirror over towards freezer as well, so it gives them double safety. And looking how this reinforcement by Harper is coming out, it definitely looks like that's how they're going to play that.
We'll see that extension. Probably the mirror windows then will be used towards the back stairs and one into the actual laundry room. Like that, you're gonna have basically 3 of the choke points covered off, and all you will really have to worry about is the freezer, which of course players can also come through. Hatch will be reinforced to freezer in that case, 1 soft wall there as well. And also 1 reinforcement, so that might indicate onto an actual mirror window being used towards the freezer. And that's indeed what Static is going to be doing.
I'm just looking over.
Everything's covered off.
Yeah, it looks like MV Taylor with the Wamai and the shield would be the one to hold off on a blue bunker, considering they're not putting a mirror window there. But I think he's placed his shield down for someone else. I'm not sure who's playing behind it. Okay, it's the Aloe who's going to be playing bunker. That's quite a wide setup. So we'll see whether or not MV Taylor can get some of these kills as drones start pouring in from the western side of the map. It'll be a west to east clear for Guts. And they're zooming on in as those drones do spot out 1 player, but no one else will be there to spot out.
Something important to mention, all 4 sides that you can be attacked from are currently being covered off by defense of Cloud9. But it also means that, well, basically every single side of that attack or defense only has 1 person holding onto it. Now, their job will be to try and find out where the actual approach and the push will be coming from, shut down any other side that maybe 1 rogue attacker will come from, and completely, well, reset themselves up. Throw those Wamai discs where they're actually going to be needed. Rotate that 1 player over to make sure you have a crossfire opportunity or you have the opportunity to go for a refrag. And as soon as that is all done, this defense will be in its full force.
Looks like Guts is stalling out now. They're not really having anyone peek them as they may have thought they would. And as a result, this means they're able to set up above, start setting those air jabs and claymores everywhere they need. And now that we've reached over half the round mark, they'll eventually get this hatch open with Maverick. No Kaid to deal with it, but that's okay. They've only really got the Maverick, as it looks like Shu's job will be to open other parts of the map, and that'll be one of them being the freezer hatch. Nova, he'll sneak his way into Harry Potter on the bottom back stairs. It'll be Crazy Papillon who's looking to get this pillar control as he moves forward. A great grenade onto Charles. That'll get one of the big fraggers from C9 off the board. And as a result, MV Taylor, he's going to throw around a bunch of Wamai discs and hope that he'll catch any other projectiles as this game continues.
The issue now, though, is look at the way that Guts Gaming want to actually approach. They want to go through the hatch, they want to go through blue, but they do not have any blue control. A player, Maverick, Light, that is starting to try and gain some control over blue, but as long as the players are still able to just freely walk themselves through elbow or play inside a boiler, that is not going to be very helpful for them, especially with Nova right here in Harry Potter. There's so much they don't know and so much important information that they need to get if they want to have success at this attacking round. Light definitely starts that off with a kill.
Well, 10 seconds left. It looks like it's going to be a flurry of trades back and forth. Europe does have access to site and the plant will begin. Good shots peppering over, but missed ultimately. Lily will get the trade onto Static, also previously known as Sweet Black. And now it's all up to MV Taylor, 1v2. He got off the plant for some reason. Will he collect this kill? He'll rotate around to the hallway. He'll have to pepper these shots, but Lily with the pistol secondary, he'll be the one to capitalize on that. And a round that didn't look like it would be Guts, given that time delay, ends up firmly in their hands.
To get that early entry, of course, and can see how important it was. Guts able to get their first attacking round in on a map we still would say is defense side, but of course you never know it really in APAC. Stage 1 was the perfect example of that. Team Park, suddenly we see like 10 attacking rounds being won there, and you're like, what is going on? You know, you never know if Oregon is turning into one of those as well, especially with these two teams. We know Cloud9 has a very good attacking side. And Guts Gaming right now starting off strong as well, getting their first round in off the get-go. If they manage to pick up one, maybe two more, they're finding themselves in a really good spot.
Yeah, winning an attacking round on any map is a bit of a confidence boost, and I alluded to it before, and we didn't really pick up on it at the start of the round. I'm not sure if the analysts even alluded to it, but we're seeing a player there on C9 called Static. Don't worry, it's just Sweet Black. He just wanted to change his name. Only for Siege, though. No other games did he want to change his name. I kind of like Static, but I also like Sweet Black. But if anyone's confused, that's all. He just felt like he wanted a new, fresh version of Sweet Black, and he'll be known as Static from now on. Oh my goodness, what was that Kite charge?
Have you not seen that before?
Look, I've seen multiple ones before, but not that bedroom one. I have seen that floor one, but that's nifty.
Yeah, you can toss it in there. It's really hard to spot out. You just need to basically pepper through the little closet and hope you get it. Otherwise, you're not going to be able to get it. And it goes through the wall and electrifies the left side. And well, if you're bringing a Kali, it's basically impossible to get it from that wall. And thus the wall will remain closed. It's a really good one. I believe we saw it first in APAC somewhere in stage 1, like week 2 or 3. So it's been around. And it's mainly Cloud9 that uses it, actually.
Well, it looks like the first engagement will be Harper with his pistol. It's an accurate pistol, but it's not a high damage pistol, so you really have to be hitting heads with this one, and that's exactly where he's aiming. He's got a good crosshair placement and knowledge, but oh, goodness me, he'll go really low. If he survives this, I'll be very surprised. He'll be on the back of Static, who's really trying to apply that crossfire. Interesting that the roam clearers are using their own drones to roam clear. Generally, you get support players who do that for them. But if you look at our support players, they're busy elsewhere. The flex trying to cut off those rotates back. And well, this is a pretty good pinch from the attackers thus far.
Definitely. Zero has a drone going out in front of him. We're trying to get the information necessary to hunt down Harper and the last 10 hit points that he has on his body. Make sure to get the entry kill yet again, as it is also important. Bit of a sign in the opening right here with the Maverick, of course, often goes unspotted, but this time Harper is right below it with his 10 HP, and well, he's not going to be able to move out anymore, because as soon as he does that, he will be basically dead. So we'll just stay prone. Oh, actually runs out, decides to go for it. Will be taken out. Lily able to pick up that kill. Static will follow as he gets dropped as well by Light. And that leaves us in a 3 and 5 situation with 60 seconds left and 5 drones for Guts Gaming to work with.
Looks like Vertical is going to be the play for Nova now. In fact, he has 1 shotgun bullet left. And so that's just going to be an SMG play moving forward. They still have site control, but there's 50 seconds left. And as a result, the attackers are inching closer and closer as the seconds go by. taken a couple of picks on their way, and that was really the kitchen hold that they wanted to negate, and they did so very perfectly. Now they're gearing up for a double window plan. Euro below making sure no one is playing behind the bunk spare, which happens to be the usual counter for this particular jump in. Oh, Charles, he's going to clap back, finally gets to show what he's made of, and they're going to come zooming in. Here comes the attack, 2 players left. Can they deny the plant? They're going to have to get all 4 players with 20 seconds left. There's too much time on the clock. They'll get the Nomad, the player goes down, and now it's all up to Nova. He'll have to collect 3 players and get a 7-second defuse down. I don't think it's really that possible anymore, Hap.
Definitely doesn't seem possible. The only thing he can really do is try and maybe pick up 1 player, go for like a ninja infuse, but it's not going to be able to get a single one. A shoot will be able to pick him up. Nova will fall as the Habano at the final kill. Just rocking that battle pass attachment skin that I've been trying to get. Makes me jealous.
I mean,
Just
as everyone knows, you can just like, zoom your way up there real quick.
I'm not going to pay to win the battle pass. Don't worry. I'm not going to do that.
Oh, you're going to earn it. Earn it like a real gamer. I got you.
Yeah. Like an original gamer, like Milosh.
Like Milosh. We can't all be like Milosh, but we try. We strive.
It's good to have dreams and goals,
Right. Make your dreams become goals. So goals become dreams. I don't even know what the saying is. Reality. That is the word I was looking for. It is currently midnight, man. You gotta cut me some slack. I'm making dreams become
4
reality.
p.m. CEST here,
Wow.
It's closing nightfall here as well soon. You guys already didn't see sunlight for a long time, but 2-0 currently, and we are going back downstairs. Cloud9 have not been able to win the last 2 rounds, meaning they will have to make some changes, and the mirror window, mirror player is again coming out. This time, Lucy being put down right there into the laundry room, just making sure that if someone will be sneaking through, he will be here, and he will not be moving fast, easing up the amount of kills you can make in that case. But it seems like a pretty similar setup is coming down yet again. Similar mirror window setups. Big change this time is that Envy Taylor is not going to try and go for an early kill.
Yeah, absolutely. We've seen that those mirrors can be quite a deterrent for a lot of different plays. It's played far more in APAC than it is EU, and Charles gives a little bit of a scare there to the Zofia, who is running up to Big Tower. Very aware that someone is playing around there now, so if they rotate out, it's probably a pretty good time delay tactic. It'll force them to have to drone him all the way out, and yeah, he's actually defaulted back to site, so good for him. He'll force them to have to drone all of towers, tier 3, 2, and 1, and as a result, that will delay a bit of time, which is exactly what the defenders need, because they've been struggling to be able to hold off site for as long as you would expect most defenders to be able to do, especially with a Wamai, so the Jaeger. They've got mirrors as well. It seems that Guts are being very time effective, even when they've got a lot to go up against.
2 minutes. Hatches reinforced. Cloud9 still having somewhat of a roam presence as we see Nova playing on the back stairs there, but I believe he just fell back indeed as Guts Gaming was about to get close. Now, as long as you have this presence around Harry Potter, right? They're not going to be pushing down those stairs as quickly as they might do normally. So working on opening up this hatch right here. No big angle to work with for the Ash of Euro. It's definitely something they can use and make sure that if someone wants to go for a hero play to route that C4 hoping to get a kill, he might be cancelled out. And as the hatch now open up, they have their first entry point. The first entry point that they might be able to work with for these remaining 70 seconds as the execute is coming closer and closer.
They'll now focus on blue, which is surprising. It tends to be the first point of attack for a lot of attackers because oftentimes you have to sink a lot of utility into it. We've seen Harper hold this angle before and he's been very effective with it. We'll see whether or not he can do it again. Pepper some shots back to let us know his presence is there and he'll move back behind the shield. And now this time delay tactic will come into force. Crazy Papillon has stood on the back stairs for I would say an entire minute, not being able to displace the Jaeger who is playing pillar, because guess what? No one's peeking them. This is what goes wrong for Guts. If no one peeks them, they find themselves stalled out. Hatch drop comes in, so does Flashes, forces Shell back. Euro will be pushed there, and there we go. Kills raining in from the major winners. That's going to be C9, 2v5, 20 seconds left on the clock, and it's going to be a very low HP Shu with like 2 hard breaches going up against a full force C9. A lot of them have low health, but it seems all done and dusted for this round. Shu gets 1, but they'll need 4 more. ADS is still intact, as we said before. They never got rid of them, so now it's a run and gun. Oh, goodness me. Nova gets Shu, and it's all up to Light. Pistol in hand. He'll pad the stats at the end, but that's not going to be enough for a round. And Cloud9 will take that round in their pocket and show us exactly why they were the mini-major winners.
Indeed, Cloud9 will be taking their first round, and well, it all came down to, as you said, a lot of stalling out those just the final seconds. Like, they opened up the hatch, but there's nothing really they could do with it. Yes, you can drop, but it doesn't gain you any control, if at all. You're going to be putting yourself between basically 2 choke points, and you're going to have to win one of those gunfights if you want to be able to make it out alive right there. And he did not. Cloud9, they just won their first round. It's 2-1 right now. And they need to get some more rounds if they want to be going into the next half with a comfortable feeling. I would say 2 to 3 rounds is what they need, and all that means they have little play space to make mistakes, and well, basically can lose only 1 additional round.
We said that last round that unfortunately for Guts, they hadn't really identified their sectioning correctly, and when we talk about sectioning, we're trying to say parts of the map that require more attention than others, and Blue Bunker is one of them. If you want to do a hatch drop and the walls are open over in the Blue Bunker, you have to know that someone is able to at least cover your rotate over from elbow, or that you've cleared it. And they did none of that. They left it to the last 40 seconds. They didn't have any utility to deal with it, and there was also a couple of grenades still in hand, which is interesting. So they could have possibly used that to displace that Jaeger on pillar. Crazy Papoon, as we said, stood on the back stairs for so long and couldn't do anything. So maybe that's something that Guts can look to in the future as to why those bottom 4 pushes might not be working.
Something to look at indeed. Maybe take some control at elbow first and then work towards the pillar. Like, pillar is such a important spot. As soon as you have control of that, often we see the attackers win. We say it so often. But you're not taking it by just having the hatch. Like, blue and electrical might be way more important for that than the actual hatch there is. So it seems like they have the right idea, just not really the right execution to go for a take like they wanted to.
Well, this time they look far more confident. They know they want to do a split push now, and it looks like they're going to start here in Attic, open up the line of sight, see if anyone can shoot back. MV Taylor, Shield, Wamidis, and Jaeger devices. We see Guts struggle to get rid of a lot of this utility, so this time they need to focus on cooking those ADSs, and that's being done now by Euro over on Trophy. And the pinch push we're talking about is opening up Attic, opening up bedroom, and then going for the plant inside of sort of the closet wall area. So that looks to be Guts' play here.
Definitely so. Just trying to find out where the actual push will be coming from, because there's a small opening up in Attic right now, so we might see 1 or 2 players trying to push through there, but still have the majority right here playing around Trophy, playing around the master bedroom. Surely they're not going to be able to open up that wall as well. As, I mean, they do have an ace, so if they take out the bent wire or new jammer, which they did just now, they might be able to actually open up. But they have to be careful for a C4 or maybe even an impact that could be used to try and cancel it out. Now, it's not happening as none of those players are near, and that results into Guts Gaming actually being able to open up. So now they have 2 positions they can go for. They have Attic and they have the master bedroom. Now, you also have the door here for games or Trophy that you need to be pushing through, and that is what they have to deal with. 45 seconds, they have 3 options. Which ones will they use?
Looks like they want to pinch through Attic, but they're taking their sweet time doing it. And it looks like Nova will be the first plan of attack here. Last smoke, babe, will rain out. In fact, second last smoke babe, so he still has one more to play with. And Crazy Pappy on that passiveness that we've seen multiple rounds in a row, unfortunately coming to play here. Light will repel up into the armory window and it'll allow them to be able to push all through the smoke. Now, the breach is open. Shu needs to make that push and get that plant down. 15 seconds left on the clock. Static will start blasting his shotgun across the map. And all of these defenders have key angles to be able to stop this push. Diffuser gets peppered into the corner, and now it's just a gut slaughter all over for them. 1v3. Lily can't do anything, repels in, and unfortunately there's 3 guns looking at him. A round's firmly in the hands of C9 yet again, and well, not surprising, Hap. I think C9 have shown that they know exactly what they need to do with this, I guess, really delayed attempt at pushing the site that we're seeing here from the attackers.
And Cloud9 figured out how to counter Guts off here. That is by not showing yourself. Just stay put. They will come to you at some point. Make them struggle. Make them struggle. Try and actually get open what they want to open up. Because, well, if you're not peeking, you're not giving them that, well, basically man advantage that they then can abuse to get themselves into the site, to brute force themselves into the site. And as long as Cloud9 stays passive and let Guts just play the utility game, they seem to be better. They seem to be winning it. And that's exactly what Cloud9 is playing into right now.
I haven't seen a lot of Light use his grenades, which is very intriguing, especially once they managed to open up Attic. I didn't see them try and cook the ADS as the Wamai there, get rid of the Wamai player playing behind the shield. You see MV Taylor in Attic, they're still alive. I think there were so many opportunities there for them to use utility, because let's be frank, they had both sides opened up. They had an entire pinch push ready to go, and then they just decided that that wasn't a strong enough position for them, that they would all try and funnel through Trophy Door. It's as if they know what they want to do early and mid-round, and when it comes to the execute, they just really can't put it all together, which is a shame, and C9 is just letting them essentially lose the round for themselves.
Definitely so. C9 just playing the time game, which is the game as old as Siege, really. As it is your biggest and best tool as a defender, really. Time, then information, then your nitros, probably, as in tools that you have available to you. So right now, early smoke's coming out. Will be caught out by the Wamai disc. Not too sure where it actually came from. Is that to waste ADSs? Is that to waste the discs? Like, why those smokes? Where did they come from? I'm really wondering why.
Yeah, I mean, you have multiple flash grenades to work with here, so why they use smokes is beyond me, but here we go, cooking all of the ADSs. A drone will continue to yellow ping MV Taylor's position. They know exactly where he is, but no one's peeking yet, and Shah will take full advantage of the fact that Shu was focused on tier 3 and take him out of commission, and now this is looking woesome here for Guts. Oh no, they lost one of their hard breaches as well, and all it took was one player here in tier 3 to take all of their attention, and that's almost the entire half of the round gone. Xiao got a pick, they traded back, but if you ask me, well, Guts, well, there we go. C9 got 2 of the better picks, and they'll rotate all the way back to site. Great start of the round here for C9.
Harper there joining the fight. The Shell tried to rotate out. They managed to pick up yet another kill. Yura, who tried to recover that diffuser, and as a result, it will still be dropped. Guts Gaming, aware of the fact that players might be around in tower and are worried about potential jump outs, run outs, or anything like that. And a lot of time is being wasted here. 1 minute. They do not have the defuse. Well, they do now, but they do not have any control as of yet. And they still need to go to that kitchen. So this very aggressive playing T3 and just the tower in general of Cloud9 has been helping them immensely because, well, they are close. They are right on the wall that they actually need to breach. But all that they do have is, well, 6 canisters on that Maverick to try and open it up. And Harper will be waiting there. Not sure if he still has a C4 in hand. Yes, he still has a C4 in hand. So as soon as that opens up, that will most likely be followed with some, well, spectacular explosives as well. So it's not really looking too good for Guts. It looks like Cloud9 has this one in the bag, especially with both Shal and Harper present here in the meeting hall.
A nice little punch hole there into the bookcase from Shal, and I actually think it's a closet case there, but nonetheless, they'll finally start to get this wall opened up, and you can hear the smoke babes raining out, and oh no, some more My Discs will catch some of that integral entry. gadgets, and no, it's Static. It looks like Static is where they want to go. Actually, that was a really good rotate choice here from Guts, but Nova, he'll come through the rotate hole. He'll get one down, but Light has the diffuser, and he's going to get off of it just at the last second. It's going to be a C9 round as expected. Left it to the last second, lost way too many of their teammates. As a result, they just could not get that plant down. Rotate call was good, but when you got so many of those C9 players just sitting and waiting, I mean, if you're Nova, for example, Hap, you've been sitting there for 2.5 minutes doing, quite frankly, nothing, because that's how long it's taken Guts to get into side.
It did indeed. And I was going to say, it was indeed a very good call for the rotate. Unfortunately, though, there was still that shotgun on the mute that was able to get one down and then basically occupy the other player that was there to cover off. And then you're in a 2-4 situation, really. There's nothing you can do. And this Cloud9 able to win it. Like, nonetheless, the call of Guts was really good, but just not enough in that moment in time. You wasted 2 minutes outside worrying about people potentially jumping out after you even took care of them after the first minute. So, like, a lot of time being wasted there. That is something that we'll have to look back onto and be like, maybe we need some more information to make sure that this doesn't happen again, because it was very sloppy.
You can see the replay there. Nova coming in clutch with his shotgun. Able to get one. One was down, so they weren't able to pick themselves up quick enough, and that's okay, because in that particular situation, it wouldn't have been quick enough anyway. And we'll see C9 go back downstairs. They haven't had the best of luck down here with this particular setup, and I think depending how Guts decide to push this, if they can try and take advantage of the fact that C9 have worked them out now, they know that they're not going to peak and they need to move up more aggressively. Guys like Crazy Papillon, for example, they're being so passive that C9 just feel they don't even need to peak. They know that they're going to stall themselves out. So they need to read into this. And Charles is the key player here. He's the one that's shown a lot of passive aggressiveness in every round. I think he's going to be the player to watch out for. And that's why you can see him in Tier 2 of Big Tower right now.
Definitely so. The ping 2.0 going out as some of the drones will be spotted. Light aware of the fact that someone indeed was rotating through the big tower. He's not going to be able to do much about it though, as he is completely on the other side of the map. As Cloud9 is back in the basement, they know the game they will have to play. Slow them down as much as you possibly can without showing yourself. That is their true game plan here. Make sure that you do not give them anything. Well, give them a lot of space, but not the actual space that matters.
You can see Envy Taylor moving up the back of Freezer's stairs. Are they aware of this? You can see Shu, quick peek. He has no idea he's at the top of the stairs. He's peeking the bottom of the stairs. Free kill here for Envy Taylor. Good night, Shu. Did he manage to get that freezer hatch open before that? I'm not entirely sure, but hopefully, because that's a horrible mistake. Otherwise, nope, that stays closed. Diffuser lays down on the ground in the shower corridor, and as a result, Lily will have to pick this up and hope that he can just run through Freezer himself, but this is looking horrible here, because if Light has to rotate over to Freezer to get that, there's not enough time. You can see them now panicking ever so slightly as we get into the latter parts of the round.
Only thing they can do now is force themselves down these stairs and go for blue and elbow. That is really all the options they have. Whilst occupying the hatch, of course, there is still shields around and pillar. No utility has been used to try and deny that as of yet. And that means that it is basically free for Cloud9 to play in that position right now. The position that is so strong. We've said it many times before. 45 seconds. They're struggling for time on the likes of Guts Gaming. Right now, some aggression going up the main stairs as well. Where can they go? Basically only the hatch. There's still 3 people upstairs. Will they drop? Most likely they will soon.
A Claymore still in the hands of Crazy Papillon, 2 grenades still in the hands of Light, all this utility in pockets, and they're trying to execute. I have no idea what's going on here for Guts, but this surely looks like another C9 round. They'll drop. The Grismont will go off yet again. It's like history repeating itself over and over. Nova, he'll be able to surely get this kill onto the diffuser holder. Yes, he does. 1v4 again. It's like deja vu, ladies and gentlemen, all over, pistol in hand, and Cloud9, and what looks like a flawless round, but one teammate does end up going down. So they won't be able to at least herald that one onto their stats. And again, cannot stress it enough, Hap. What is it with them holding all of this utility in their pocket? What are they waiting for?
It's exactly what I'm saying. And if you look at the utility that Cloud9 still has available at the time they execute, a shield and elbow, a shield and... They still have the mirror windows open. They still have evil eyes if they even use the if they use maestros. Like, there is just so much utility still open, and it's not being taken care of by Guts. And well, they're going over to the defense themselves now. So let's see how Cloud9 actually plays this utility game. Are they going to be more effective on clearing out the utility you need for an execute? Because that is the main thing, right? Guts relies on that entry frag. If they do not get it, if Cloud9 just stays passive, there's nothing they can do because they don't deal with the utility. They let the shields be there, they let the mirror windows sit there, and they're like, we'll worry about that after the round. And that is not really the way you want to go at.
After the round
especially
is too
considering
late,
you're too far behind. Yeah, it's too late.
It's too late.
I mean, I hope Guts knows that.
I don't think they do, because like I said, deja vu after deja vu. They're repeating their mistakes over and over again. This is really bad for Guts. It's not painting a really positive picture of them, and I would love to paint a positive picture of them because in stage 1, I was actually a really big fan of them. So I really want to see that they are the team that we did hype up in the first stage. They do have the capabilities, but it's like C9 is like reborn since the mini major. Since they won that, I felt like we're watching an entirely new C9 as well. So we have to give a lot of props to C9. They're playing their absolute hearts out, and for them, they're reading into the situation like absolute pros. But for Guts, I've got to pray and hope that their defensive side here on Oregon will far outweigh their attacking side, because otherwise this does not paint a pretty picture for them coming stage 2.
Yeah, Mr. BB, you got to keep in mind, Cloud9, their attacks are something they're pretty much known for. Even though their time management sometimes, you know, we considered it poorly through stage 1. That completely changed over the major, by the way. The major, they were absolutely beautiful on their attacks, like no issues in time management. Their executes were just like on point all the time. But even like the cases where they had issues with time management, all they need to do is just drop through 2 hatches. They manage to get all the kills they need, and they go on from there. And that is basically what you have to be afraid of Cloud9. Like, even if they do not clear out all the utility properly, they're still going to be a pretty big threat during the end of the round.
Well, it looks like Cloud9 is very aware that this blue presence is exactly Guts' plan, and they want to try and get rid of that. They'll open up that sweet little Habana angle that we've seen them do times and time again. We've seen multiple teams do it, and what that allows them to do is see over in towards the Harry Potter part of the stairs. One Guts player drops, no opportunity for rehost now. Shots have already been fired and damage has already been received. As a result, they'll lose one of their key players here. And what C9 says, hey, that's exactly what we need to come zooming onto site. Grenades sail out and Charles bullets do too. Looks like they want to come over onto site. Light, he's looking for those bullet hole kills, but surely they'll pepper shots through that soft wall as well. Looks away at the inopportune time and is denied a kill. Oh, goodness me, a double from Lily. Can he do this on his own? No, he can't trade back. And now it's all up to Shu and Light. A flash will come raining in, but Shu looks to be the god that they need, the hero for this round to stop this particular execute from occurring. Looks like it's stalled the C9 players out now, and they'll look to take a quick breath, as I do, and see whether or not they can find some of these players as they try and get onto site. Good pre-fire from the Vector now. Looks like Static on 1 lick of HP. Can't do it, it's Light. He clutches the round even after losing 1 player and looking dire in the mid and late round. And this is the kind of fight we needed from Guts, but it's coming late in the matchup.
It is coming late indeed, but I mean, Cloud9 still 1 round ahead, and that means there is opportunity here for Guts as the player just rejoined, so there will be no rehost necessary. They just won their first round on the defense. That is exactly what they need to potentially rebuild this momentum. See Lily right here, 7 kills. Envy Taylor, on the other hand, on 8 on 4, a KD of 2, which he is rocking. And right now, Kid Storms will be the next bomb site we will go to. No mirror this time. Also, no Valkyrie, as it has been 6 picked out. Attackers need to locate and... They'll be looking at how Cloud9 will actually go for an execute here. It all looked to be so well for them until we saw, you know, a little flank coming around, just taking 2 of your players right there in Pillar and Boiler. So that was the most unlucky part there for Cloud9. You see it again, Lily just coming around, picking up one pillar, and then one close to the door, who had no time to respond whatsoever. Nova taken out. Of course, he instantly got traded after, but the damage was already done. The comeback was made in that round, and that was exactly what his teammates needed to continue from there on forth.
It's a bit of a shame because the job to hold that rotate and to hold that pinch into bunker was Envy Taylor's job. And at the time that he had moved up to get that flank around, that rotate around, Envy Taylor was on a drone. And, well, you can't shoot with a drone, so he couldn't stop the inevitable. It was like he was watching it, a scary movie that you can't turn off, a nightmare happening right in front of his eyes. And that's exactly what happened to Envy Taylor. So I do put it down to a bit of timing. Envy Taylor misplacing himself as the execute started to begin. He needed to be on his gun rather than his drone then. So a little bit of a misplay there, but the game does look close. We do have a 4-3. They will go upstairs now. And if Guts win this top floor, they'll even the round count out and show us that there is a lot of promise for them moving on into the latter parts of this particular matchup.
And they trying to get some information now, just using that scanner, of course, 20-meter range. Going to be able to spot that quite some utility, of course, not do much about it on the roof.
Oh.
Lily will fall. Static with an entry. And from where? Where did he die? CSI R6 edition right now. On
What?
top of the hatch. All right, that's...
What a shot.
Probably he just opened it up or something. Probably still working on the setup because it's really unusual for a mirror to play in a position like that. So I only imagine Static being in meeting whilst Lily opened up the hatch with a secondary shotgun, losing his life like that. That's the only possible explanation I have.
Well, it looks like Light will shoot those smoke babes out rather early, and it's because he's being pressured from the bedroom side and the attic side. You can see Habana's opened up a line of sight and a crouch hole in. Yura will get Charles, and that's good flank up there. Yet again, Guts showing they can flank and that C9 can't hold the flank effectively. This time it's Static's fault that he was able to come up through Armory stairs there and take one of the players by surprise. And now he'll have to go and drone and work out exactly where Yura's gone because they have no idea where he repositioned himself after that particular flank. This is going to time delay exponentially as we get to the 1 minute mark. Yura might even try a jump out and go into garage, but decides not to. Grenades will be used by C9, but I actually don't think they'll ever hit their target. Here we go. That did a lot of damage onto Yura. One bullet here will end him, but they can't see him on these verticals. And now this is taking a lot of time up.
It's definitely taking a lot of time, but Yura doesn't seem to be aware of the fact that the repel just occurred, and there we go. Kill secured. Nova able to pick up that one, meaning Harper will be allowed to be picked back up as soon as these C9 players will be joining him. But look at Light. He is very aggressive right here, went through the breach, and might be able to go for a bit of an aggressive peek as soon as they are going to be going for it, but he jumps on the bat. Static able to pick up that kill as well. That is going to be bringing the favor back into Cloud9's favor. They have a man advantage right now, but 15 seconds that they need to work with. A plan needs to happen, and it needs to happen soon. There's still mirror windows on the board. One player is going to be in attics. It's going to be shoot to try and fight through, but he's going to be failing to do so as of yet. And it's going to be a Cloud9 Ryan to call mid. A trade between Harper and Shu, but it's going to be enough for Cloud9 to secure the round and put themselves one round closer to match point.
That round was an absolute mess at the end, and I think anyone who would watch that would absolutely agree. And not that the players were a mess per se, but it was more that C9 had to just completely fall back on their mechanical skill to win that round. They baited the plan a couple of times. They knew there was a mirror window on them, and he said to himself, actually, here we really need to focus on the kill. That was absolutely the right decision to go for that kill instead of the plan, because you never know if someone can swing and you're 0 seconds left on the clock. You can't really do much about it. So really good round there from C9, but that flank from Euro really put a dent in their strategy. I think Guts knows that their ability to move up into unexpected positions and flank at inopportune times for C9 is their strength, but it's not enough to be able to win these rounds out.
It's not enough. You cannot really rely on a flank happening time and time again, because at some point C9 is going to be sick and tired of it. They will be putting up a flank drone. They will be putting up someone flank watch. They might be playing Nomad. Anything they will do if it becomes too big of an issue in these next 3 rounds or next 4 rounds, they will be there to have a reply for it. So something else also needs to happen if Guts wants to be able to get back into the game here, put up a competitive fight against Cloud9 for the win, because right now they're trailing by 2 rounds, and Cloud9, they don't seem like they're going to be stopping anytime soon.
Yeah, I think for Cloud9, I feel confident looking at them on both defense and attack. And when I'm looking at Guts, I feel wavered in my giving an opinion about whether or not they are quite strong on either of those halves. I know Cloud9 are the mini-major winners. I know they were the victors, and I know they've come into this stage looking quite strong. But for the most part, for Guts, they're not a weak team by any means. So I think this is showing how good Cloud9 is rather than how bad Guts is. So I think I'm going to look at it from that standpoint and just go, okay, they're really getting run over here on a map that C9, it's their best map. So if they get, let's say, one more round and it ends in a 7-4 or even a 7-5, I would say that Guts did pretty damn good on the best map of one of the best teams in APAC North.
You're playing against the major winner. It's not a shame if you lose against them. Let's put that up front. It is just Guts Gaming. Might have expected a little bit more from them. After stage 1, they were pretty much consistently in the top 3. Might be a bit unlucky when you're playing off against Cloud9 in your first game straight away. Yeah. But hey, it is what it is, and they need to deal with it. There's no much going around it. As the first logic bomb comes out, might be the second one, actually, second one indeed. They should be guiding C9 to go for this push. They know exactly where Shu is. They know Crazy Papillon is near him, as they heard, well, 2 phone calls going off. So the smoke canister will be pre-placed just to make sure that as the exothermic will be deployed, not exothermic, if the Maverick canister will go off, they're going to be trying to smoke him, deal some damage, just stall out the time. That is all it's there for, nothing else. Nova's just going to stick it through. That's very brave.
That is brave, because that was the last smoke canister, I believe, so they're not going to be afraid of any more, and now they'll be able to open up the wall. Charles, please open this. Please get your impact and open this. There we go. Well done. Excellent. Now, 1 whole minute left on the clock. They got stage open. They got someone that they know is pushing below. And I don't know if Static knows where Lily is, but he certainly knows where Crazy Papillon is. And Lily, you got to trade those ones, bro. You have to push up. That is a big loss for your team. Surely the diffuser goes down now, but as he runs in, the player goes down. That was Nova. It's Static's job below to stop the player from stopping anything from the hatch. Yes, he does. Good shot. It's the Shao show now, and all up to Yura, who is above. If there's a player on Guts who can do it, it is him. But he's got a lot to tend with here. The plant is going down. Double kill. Can he get a triple? He needs it. He needs to get it. He does. Diffuser goes down. 1v1. All up to Shah, one of the biggest gunners of Cloud9 now. He doesn't have Diffuser in hand. He'll go for the frags. Yura runs. He knows he can play time on this. He's got the beautiful shots. He misses. It's a whip show here. Pistol in hand. And guess whose pistol's better? It's Shah's.
Yura almost making it, getting those 2 kills at the start and then able to drop down that diffuser as well. Shao having to go all the way around to try and get himself into a good position. Both will miss their entire magazines of their main weapons on each other. It ends up with a pistol fight, and it's Shao that comes out on top. One of the best players on Cloud9, one of the best fraggers in the league. Who else than him to finish that one off? But that was almost a hero play right there coming down from Yura. Almost able to save Guts Gaming and put them up 4-5. That would have put them 1 round away from tying things up with Cloud9. 2 rounds away from reaching that match point. But instead, it will be Cloud9 now on match point. 1 more round and they will take the win. 1 more round and they'll continue their streak going into stage 2, phase 1 of APAC North.
Thank you so much for giving me time to catch my breath, Hat, because after that flurry of kills there from Yura, I seriously thought to myself, he's about to clutch this. And then I looked over to the right, and of course the last man standing was Charles on Zofia. And he's an absolute gunner, especially on Zofia. I think he's really attacking-sided player. And so it's not a surprise he was able to capitalize on that one. But, oh, that is a heart-racing moment for both teams there. We love to see it. You love the excitement, especially when you're in the first Playday here of any league. You really want these teams to be showing you what they've got. And that's what C9 are doing here on their best map. But, whew, Guts are putting up a heck of a fight.
Definitely putting up a good fight here. If they manage to get 1 more round in at least, it might still be possible for them to come back. And They just need a bit of faith. They just need to be stalling down that momentum of Cloud9. Let them struggle with time for once. Make sure that they are the ones that need to be thinking twice about the actions they set up and all the positions they take. So doubts in their heads. That's going to be the way that you might be able to bring this back. But Cloud9, in Cloud9 fashion, it's going to be trying to make some swift approaches, taking the tower in a couple of seconds, really, as they know the eventual bomb site is downstairs, and they know that boiler is a very important part in that attack. And thus they try to get it as quickly as possible. But look at that, 2 roamers on the likes of Guts Gaming right now, Jess. 3, actually.
Is Envy just running down main stairs? Is he aware that there's a lot of roamers and therefore the front of site might be free and therefore he can make a swift entrance? Yes, he damn does. He's behind the washing machine already. Crouch walks his way in. Surely he'll go to the rotate. His team is so aware of this. Free kills left, right, and center here for C9. They're going to end this in a really swift fashion. But Light says, hold up, we've got more to say about this. And it will be all up to Lily above to try and stop this impeding rush onto site. It was a good access from the front laundry, and that's a great kill from Charles from Pillar. He's been a key player here for C9, and now it's all up to Shu and Lily. Both of the fraggers still alive. They had to rotate back to site, but they're getting wall banged left, right, and center. One slither of HP. He can't hit his shots here, and the Roni doesn't have a lot of bullets to work with to begin with. And now C4s will rain out. Nothing connects. Over a minute left, and an grenade will make Lily even lower. Pre-fires come out, and now it's all up to Shu, new player. He'll get one, and that's Diffuser down. This is very possible for him. They missed out on a clutch last round. They cannot miss out on a clutch this one. Flash will rain out. He is fully flashed. He's just going to have to pre-fire and suppressive fire his way back. Diffuser does go down, however. He'll impact to give away his position, and it looks like he'll be the one to put himself in a 1v1. 35 seconds left, but a 7-second defuse. Shu has to find out exactly where this player is. He's looking left and right. He has no idea where this player is. Pre-fires will come out as to where he thinks he is, and now he'll pull out this secondary. Very inaccurate weapon, but close range, very good. No idea he's all the way over in laundry and has 10 seconds left. He needs to get this kill now and run to the diffuser, and now he has to stick it. This is all over unless he stands up now, and he won't. And that's a GG for Cloud9.
Why in this moment in time do you go off after the clock hit 7? There was no reason to do that. Of course, like, I'm not sure. He maybe even would have been able to stick it because Static wasn't even aware of the fact where he was. It just tossed in a flashbang considering like he has to defuse now, but just stick it. Just stick it. If you would have stuck it, you might have been able to actually get it, because if you go off, you lost the round anyway. You might be able to get a kill, you lost the round anyway, and that is eventually what mattered out right there. Very good read from Cloud9 that the site was empty. Very good entry for X to come in. They almost managed to bring it back, but not just quite yet. And that's Cloud9. Will be taking their win as well, joining the previous victors as well into the next round of this Swiss bracket. We're gonna have one more match to come up after this, but let's throw it over to our analysts and see what they had to say about this matchup.